The night she spilled water on her own hands to make them shake, the truth sat heavy in her purse like a loaded secret, while the restaurant lights reflected off cutlery she could buy 1,000 times over. She was the CEO everyone feared in boardrooms, yet here she was, pretending to count coins for a cheap meal, watching another blind date scan her worn shoes and second-hand coat with quiet judgment. Every test she designed ended the same way. People vanished the moment they sensed she had nothing to offer but herself. And then, across the small restaurant, a man with tired eyes and a child's crayon stained jacket quietly took a seat, unknowingly stepping into the one test she never expected anyone to pass. Before the story unfolds further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that restore faith in people, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel Ripple of Kindness. Your support keeps stories like this alive. She had built an empire from nothing, clawing her way up through rejection, betrayal, and nights where the office lights outlasted her strength. Success gave her power, but it also stole her trust. After one too many relationships that dissolved the moment her net worth surfaced, she decided to disappear behind a lie. On every blind date, she dressed plainly, chose modest restaurants, and hinted at financial struggle. It was her shield, her filter, her quiet rebellion against a world that measured love in numbers. Each time, disappointment arrived on schedule, polite smiles fading into thin excuses. Tonight felt no different at first. The restaurant was small and warm, the kind where steam from plates fogged the windows and soft music tried to hide the clatter of tired lives. She expected another empty ending. The man who arrived was visibly worn, not by laziness but by responsibility. His jacket was clean but old, his posture careful, as if every movement was measured to conserve energy. A little boy hovered close to him, small fingers gripping the edge of the table, eyes wide with curiosity at the glowing menu board. The sitter had canceled, and the man had almost not come, but he refused to break another promise, even a fragile one arranged by strangers. She noticed how he adjusted the child's collar before sitting, how he scanned prices without embarrassment, how he offered a gentle smile that carried no hunger for advantage. The test was already working, though she did not yet know it. As the evening unfolded, the weight of pretending pressed hard against her chest. She spoke of struggles, of unstable work, of living carefully. She watched closely for the shift she had seen so many times before, the subtle withdrawal, the polite distance. Instead, she saw understanding settle in his face, not pity. When the child grew restless, the man distracted him with folded napkins and whispered stories told with hands, creating small moments of joy from nothing. When the bill arrived, she reached instinctively for her purse, already rehearsing the familiar discomfort. The man calmly suggested sharing the cost, explaining his situation with quiet honesty, never once making her feel small for hers. The test cracked just a little. Halfway through the meal, an accident spilled soup across the table, drawing sharp looks from nearby diners. Her heart raced, expecting irritation, maybe embarrassment aimed at the child. Instead, the man moved quickly, shielding the boy, apologizing with his whole body, cleaning the mess without complaint. He laughed softly, turning the moment into something human rather than humiliating. She felt something shift deep inside her, a warmth she had not allowed herself to feel in years. For the first time, she was not observing a test. She was living inside an answer. Her life had taught her to equate control with safety. She controlled markets, teams, futures, but she could not control the ache that formed as she watched this man give patience freely, despite having so little left at the end of his days. He was a single father, carrying grief from a loss that still lived in the way he protected his son, working long hours at a modest job that barely stretched far enough. Yet there was no bitterness in him, only a quiet resolve to raise a good human being, even if it meant sacrificing his own comfort. The lie in her purse grew heavier, pressing against her conscience. When the date ended, she expected relief, the familiar closing of a door. Instead, she felt fear. Revealing the truth now felt cruel, almost like betrayal. She walked out into the cool night air, the restaurant lights dimming behind them, and wondered when she had become someone who hid instead of hoped. Over the next days, she replayed the evening endlessly, every small kindness magnified. She realized that her test had never been about money. It had been about dignity, and he had passed without knowing there was an exam. They met again at the same restaurant, then again, always simple, always honest. She stayed hidden, watching how he treated staff, strangers, his child. Each time, the answer remained the same. He was consistent,